Silence is power. In a world that never stops talking, the ability to be alone with your thoughts might be the most valuable skill you'll ever develop. I discovered this truth back in 1987, sitting in my study late one night when the whole world seemed to be asleep. The quiet wasn't empty. It was filled with possibility. Some of the greatest achievements in human history came from individuals who mastered the art of being alone. They found their strength not in constant connection, but in moments of solitude. Think about it. Every time you feel the urge to your phone, turn on the TV, or fill the silence with noise, you're running from the very thing that could transform your life. I learned this lesson the hard way, and what I'm about to share with you changed everything for me. There's a truth that most people never grasp. Being alone and being lonely are two entirely different experiences. When you're walking down a busy street surrounded by hundreds of people, you can feel desperately lonely. Yet you can be completely by yourself in a quiet room and feel more connected to life than ever before. Let me paint this picture clearly for you. Loneliness is like wearing a heavy coat in summer. It's uncomfortable, unwanted, and weighs you down. But solitude? Solitude is like having a private garden where your thoughts and dreams can grow freely. It's a choice, not a circumstance. Society has it all wrong. They'll tell you that being alone means something's missing in your life. They say you need constant companionship to be happy. Just look at how they portray single people in movies and television, always searching, always incomplete. This couldn't be further from the truth. I remember watching people rush from one social engagement to another, filling every moment of their calendar. They were running from themselves, and they didn't even know it. But here's what they were missing. The most important conversation you'll ever have is with yourself. What's fascinating is how our culture has branded solitude as something to avoid. We've created a world where being alone is seen as failure. Social media, constant connectivity, endless notifications. They're all designed to keep us from facing ourselves. Remember this. Every great leader, thinker, and innovator throughout history knew the value of solitude. Breaking free from these social expectations isn't easy. People will question your choices. They'll wonder why you're not following the crowd. But ask yourself this, are you living your life, or are you living the life others expect of you? The first step to breaking free is understanding that you don't need permission to enjoy your own company. You don't need validation to spend time alone. Those quiet moments when you're by yourself, they're not empty spaces to be filled. They're opportunities for growth, reflection, and self-discovery. When you begin to see solitude as a powerful choice, rather than an unwanted situation, everything changes. Your alone time becomes precious, valuable, and purposeful. This understanding, this clear distinction between solitude and loneliness, that's your first step toward personal freedom. Inside every person lies a remarkable power, a strength that most never tap into because they're too busy looking outside themselves for answers. This power awakens in solitude like a muscle that's finally given the chance to flex and grow. I remember the exact moment I discovered this truth. It was a Tuesday afternoon in my office. I had just canceled all my appointments for the day, something I'd never done before. The phone was off the hook, and for the first time in years, I sat in complete silence. That's when I heard it, not with my ears, but with something deeper. The voice of my true self, the one that had been drowned out by the noise of daily life. Think about a radio for a moment. When you're trying to tune into a specific station, what do you do first? You clear out the static. That's exactly what solitude does for your mind. It clears out the static of other people's opinions, society's expectations, and the constant chatter that fills our world. The self-discovery isn't something that happens while you're rushing between meetings or scrolling through social media. It happens in those quiet moments when you're brave enough to be alone with your thoughts. Start asking yourself the questions you've been avoiding. What truly makes you happy? Not what should make you happy, but what actually brings you joy. Building inner confidence is like constructing a house. You need a solid foundation. First, that foundation is self-knowledge. When you spend time alone, you start to understand your own reactions, your genuine preferences, your authentic desires. You stop being a reflection of what others want to become who you truly are. I've seen thousands of people transform their lives once they grasped this simple truth. They stopped seeking approval from others and started trusting their own judgment. That's when their real strength emerged. It's like finding out you've had a superpower all along. but you were too busy looking at everyone else's abilities to notice your own. Now let's talk about creating your happiness blueprint. Most people make the mistake of copying someone else's formula for happiness. They see what brings joy to others and try to replicate it. But happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's as unique as your fingerprint. Start by spending 15 minutes each day in complete silence. No phone, no television, no distractions. Just you and your thoughts. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. That's normal. You're developing a new skill, just like learning to ride a bicycle or speak a new language. During these quiet moments, pay attention to what naturally brings you peace. Maybe it's reading a good book, working in your garden, or simply watching the sunset. These aren't just activities. They're clues to your personal happiness blueprint. The strength you're discovering is not being comfortable alone. It's about becoming so secure in who you are that you don't need constant validation from others. When you reach this point, something magical happens. Your relationships with others actually improve. Why? Because you're no longer depending on them to make you whole. You're already whole. Remember, this quiet voice inside you is trying to tell you something important. It knows who you are and what you need. All it asks is for you to listen. That's where your true strength lies. Not in the noise and chaos of the world, but in the quiet certainty of knowing yourself. Now let me share something powerful with you. The practical steps that transform solitude from a concept into a lifestyle. These aren't complicated techniques that require special training. They're simple, proven methods that anyone can start using today. Let's begin with your morning routine. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people reach for their phone the moment they wake up, immediately connecting to everyone else's lives, problems, and priorities. You try this. When you open your eyes tomorrow morning, stay in bed for just 3 minutes. Feel the stillness of the early morning. Listen to your breathing. This small act tells your mind that you're in control of your day, not the other way around. After those 3 minutes, move to what I call your power spot. This can be any quiet corner in your home, a comfortable chair, a spot at your kitchen table, even a cushion on the floor. Spend 20 minutes here doing nothing but sipping your morning coffee or tea. No television, no radio, no distractions. Just you and your thoughts. This isn't meditation. It's simply being present with yourself. As the weeks pass, you'll notice something remarkable. These quiet mornings become the foundation of your strength. They're like deposits in an emotional bank account that you can draw from throughout the day. Now let's talk about activities that build self-reliance. Start taking yourself out to dinner once a week. Pick a nice restaurant, not a fast food place where you can hide behind a quick meal. Bring a notebook. Write down your thoughts, observe the people around you, plan your future. At first, you might feel self-conscious. That's your mind trying to hold on to old patterns. Push through it. Learn to fix things around your house. Start small. Change a light fixture. Repair a leaky faucet. Paint a room. Each successful repair builds your confidence. It's not about saving money. It's about proving to yourself that you can solve problems independently. Take up a hobby that requires focus and solitude. Photography is excellent for this, or writing, or painting. The specific activity doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're creating something on your own. When you finish a project that you conceived and executed by yourself, it changes how you see yourself. There's an exercise that's particularly powerful. Take a day trip alone. Drive to a nearby town you've never visited. Walk the streets. Stop at interesting shops. Have lunch at a local restaurant. Don't plan everything. Let yourself make spontaneous decisions. This builds your trust in your own judgment. Creating meaningful solo experiences isn't about filling time. It's about creating memories that matter to you. Start a personal project that excites you. Maybe it's writing your life story, learning a new language, or mastering a musical instrument. The key is that it should be something you do purely for yourself, not to impress others or meet external expectations. Develop what I call solo sanctuary ritual. Once a month, turn your home into a personal retreat space. Clean thoroughly, buy fresh flowers, prepare your favorite meal, light some candles. Treat yourself as if you were a highly valued guest in your own home, because you are. Another powerful practice is what I call a weekly wisdom walk. Choose a time, early morning or late evening works best, and take a 30-minute walk alone. No music, no podcasts, just you and your thoughts. Let your mind wander. Some of your best ideas will come during these walks. Remember to document your solo journey. Keep a simple journal. Write down your thoughts, your progress, your insights. Years from now, you'll look back at these notes and be amazed at how far you've come. One of the most important aspects of solo living is learning to celebrate your achievements alone. When you reach a goal, don't wait for others to recognize it. Create your own celebration ritual. Buy yourself something special. Take yourself on an adventure, or simply acknowledge your progress in a meaningful way. These aren't just activities to fill time. They're investments in your personal growth. Each one builds upon the others, creating a foundation of self-reliance that nothing can shake. And here's something fascinating I've noticed. The more comfortable you become with these solo activities, the more you'll find yourself attracting quality relationships into your life. Remember, the goal isn't to live in isolation. It's to become so complete in yourself that all your relationships with others and with yourself come from a place of choice rather than need. The most important conversation you'll ever have isn't with a successful business person, a wise teacher, or even a close friend. It's the constant conversation you have with yourself. That voice in your head, it's either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The choice is yours. I learned something fascinating during my years of studying successful people. They all had one thing in common. They mastered the art of positive self-talk. Not the sugar-coated, artificial kind, but authentic, powerful internal dialogue that pushes them. Start paying attention to how you talk to yourself. Most people don't realize they're running a constant negative commentary in their minds. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. What will others think? Stop right there. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, pause, take a breath. Now rephrase that thought as if you were talking to someone you deeply care about. Here's a simple technique I've taught thousands of people. I call it the mirror morning message. Each morning, look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say one thing you're proud of about yourself. Not something you did, something you are. I am resilient. I am capable. I am growing stronger every day. It might feel uncomfortable at first. That's good. Growth starts at the edge of comfort. Negative thoughts will come. They're part of being human, but you don't have to let them stay. Think of negative thoughts like uninvited guests. You can't always control when they show up, but you can decide how long they stay. When a negative thought appears, acknowledge it. Then consciously replace it with a constructive one. Let me share a powerful method for building mental resilience. Call it the three-question technique. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Face it squarely. Then ask, what's the best that could happen? Let yourself feel the possibility. Finally, what's most likely to happen? This brings you back to reality while keeping both perspective and hope. Your mind is like a garden. Negative thoughts are weeds, they'll grow on their own. Positive thoughts are like flowers. They need to be planted and tended. Make it a daily practice to plant good thoughts. Read inspiring books. Listen to uplifting messages. Surround yourself with positive influences. Building mental resilience isn't about never feeling down. It's about bouncing back faster each time. Start keeping a victory log. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you did well. They don't have to be big victories. Maybe you smiled at a stranger, finished a task you'd been putting off, or chose a healthy lunch. These small wins build up over time, creating a foundation of confidence. Remember this. The voice in your head has been programmed over years by parents, teachers, friends, and society. You can reprogram it. You have that power. Start catching yourself when you use phrases like I should, I have to, or I need to. Replace them with I choose to, I get to, or I want to. This small shift changes everything. When you're alone, your inner voice becomes louder. That's why mastering it is crucial to finding happiness in solitude. Turn it into your personal coach, your biggest supporter, your wisest advisor, because that's what it's meant to be. The strength of your inner voice grows with practice. Each time you redirect a negative thought to a positive one, you're building mental muscle. Each time you choose empowering self-talk over self-criticism, you're getting stronger. This isn't just positive thinking. It's mental training for a more fulfilling life. Personal growth isn't a straight line from point A to point B. It's more like climbing a spiral staircase. You keep moving up, but often find yourself looking at the same challenges from higher perspectives. The beauty of taking this journey alone is that you set the pace, choose the direction, and celebrate every step forward. Let me tell you about goal setting when you're walking your path alone. Most people make a critical mistake. They set goals based on what others expect of them. their parents' expectations, their friends' achievements, society's standards. When you're charting your own course, you need to start with one simple question. What do I want when no one else is watching? Take out a piece of paper right now. At the top, write today's date. Now imagine it's 5 years from today. Write down where you want to be, not where you should be, but where you truly want to be. Don't censor yourself. Don't worry about being practical. Write it all down. This is your private roadmap, and no one else needs to see it. Here's something crucial about setting goals independently. You don't need anyone's permission or approval. This freedom can feel scary at first. We're used to getting validation from others. But think about this. Every major breakthrough in human history started with someone who dared to pursue their vision, even when others couldn't see it. Now about learning new skills. When you're learning alone, you have a tremendous advantage. You can fail privately. This is pure gold. You can try things, make mistakes, adjust, and try again without feeling embarrassed or judged. Use this freedom. It's your secret weapon. Start with what I call the 15-minute rule. Commit to spending just 15 minutes each day learning something new. Want to play the piano? 15 minutes. Want to learn a language? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. It seems small, but here's the magic. 15 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week. It builds momentum. It creates habits. You've got tools today that didn't exist when I started teaching these principles. Online courses, video tutorials, digital books. They're all at your fingertips. But remember, information isn't transformation. You need to apply what you learn. Create small projects for yourself. If you're learning photography, give yourself assignments. If you're studying writing, start a private blog. Make your learning active, not passive. Here's a powerful truth about becoming your own best friend. It starts with keeping promises to yourself. Small promises at first. Promise yourself you'll read 10 pages today. Promise yourself you'll take a walk. Promise yourself you'll try something new. Then keep those promises. Each kept promise builds self-trust. Each kept promise makes the next one easier. Start treating yourself the way you'd treat a close friend. Would you talk down to a friend who made a mistake? Would you dismiss a friend's achievements as not good enough? Would you tell a friend their dreams are impossible? Of course not. So why do it to yourself? Create what I call a growth timeline. Get a large piece of paper. Draw a line across it. Mark where you're now on one end. Mark where you want to be on the other. Now fill in the steps between. Be specific. Be realistic. But most importantly, be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Learn to celebrate your progress privately. Most people need public recognition to feel accomplished. But when you can feel genuine pride in your achievements without needing to share them on social media or tell everyone about them, that's true confidence. Here's an exercise that's particularly powerful. Start a skills inventory. List everything you can do right now. Everything. From cooking an omelet to using computer software. Now each month, add one new skill to that list. Watch how it grows. Watch how you grow. Remember this about personal growth. It's not about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more fully yourself. You're not trying to transform into someone else. You're allowing yourself to develop into who you really are. The relationship you build with yourself during this journey becomes the foundation for every other relationship in your life. When you learn to enjoy your own company, to trust your own judgment, to appreciate your own progress, you become whole. Not half of a whole waiting to be completed by someone else, but whole, complete in yourself. Your personal growth journey is exactly that. Personal. No one else can take it for you. No one else can tell you exactly how to do it. But I promise you this. Every step you take on this path, every skill you learn, every goal you set and reach, build something precious, a life that's truly your own. The greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in stocks, real estate, or precious metals. It's in yourself. When you invest in yourself, the returns don't just multiply. They compound throughout every area of your life. Let's talk about financial independence first. Not just having money, but having control over your financial future. Start with this simple practice. Pay yourself first. Before you pay any bill, before you buy anything, set aside a portion of your income for your future self. Even if it's just a small amount at first. The amount isn't as important as the habit. I learned something powerful about money years ago. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Living below your means isn't deprivation. It's preparation for a better future. Start looking at every dollar as a seed that could grow into a tree of opportunity. When you're alone, you have complete control of your spending. Use this freedom wisely. Create what I call a financial freedom map. Write down every expense you have. Now, next to each one, write either survival, comfort, or luxury. Be honest with yourself. You'll start seeing patterns. You'll start making better choices. Not because anyone's forcing you, but because you understand the power of each decision. Now about personal development, E. This is where magic happens. Your mind is like a field. The thoughts and skills you plant today become the reality you harvest tomorrow. Set aside 1 hour each day for learning. Not watching television, not scrolling through social media, but real learning. Read books that challenge you. Study subjects that interest you. Take courses that expand your capabilities. Here's something crucial. Track your progress. Keep a learning journal. At the end of each week, write down what you've learned. It might seem small day by day, but when you look back over months and years, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Speaking of progress, let's talk about your health and wellness. Your body is a vehicle that carries you through life. Taking care of it isn't vanity. It's necessity. Start with sleep. Most people sacrifice sleep thinking they're being productive. But poor sleep is like driving with the parking brake on. You might move forward, but you're damaging the engine. Create a wellness routine that you actually enjoy. Don't force yourself to run. If you hate running, find movement that brings you joy. Maybe it's dancing in your living room, practicing yoga, or taking long walks. The best exercise is the one you'll actually do. Nutrition doesn't have to be complicated. Learn to cook simple, healthy meals for yourself. There's something powerful about preparing your own food. It's an act of self-care, of self-respect. When you're alone, it's easy to fall into the trap of quick, unhealthy meals. Resist this. Treat yourself as if you were cooking for someone you deeply care about, because you are. Here's a powerful practice I call the triangle of wealth. Draw a triangle on a piece of paper. At each point, write financial health, mental health, and physical health. Every decision you make should support at least one of these points. Better yet, if it supports all three. You remember this, self-investment isn't selfish. It's strategic. Every dollar you spend on books, courses, healthy food, and exercise equipment is an investment in your future self. Every hour you spend learning, exercising, or planning your finances is time invested in your freedom. Your health, wealth, and wisdom are interconnected. When you improve one area, the others naturally rise. When you neglect one area, the others suffer. This is why a balanced approach to self-investment is so crucial. Start today, not with grand gestures, but with small, consistent action. Because time will pass anyway. The question is, will you be better prepared tomorrow than you are today? Being happy alone doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means choosing your connections purposefully, like a master craftsman selecting the finest materials for a masterpiece. The key is quality over quantity. Think of your social connections like a garden. Some plants need daily attention, others thrive with minimal care, but all contribute to the overall beauty. Start by mapping out your current relationships. Draw 3 circles on paper. In the center circle, write essential connections. These are your closest relationships. The middle circle is regular contacts, and the outer circle is occasional connections. Now, here's the important part. Make sure these relationships serve your growth, not drain your energy. Professional networking takes on a different meaning when you're comfortable being alone. You're not networking because you're desperate for connections. You're networking because you have value to offer. Attend industry events with this mindset. What can I contribute? Not what can I get. This shift in thinking changes everything. I discovered something fascinating about networking. When you're at peace with yourself, people naturally gravitate toward you. They sense your authenticity. Start by identifying 3 professionals you admire in your field. Follow their work. Comment thoughtfully on their posts. Share their insights with your own unique perspective added. But remember, do this because you genuinely want to contribute, not because you're seeking something in return. Community involvement is your bridge between personal growth and social impact. Find one cause that truly matters to you. Just one. Don't spread yourself thin trying to support every worthy cause. Maybe it's teaching children to read, helping at an animal shelter, or cleaning up local parks. Whatever you choose, Commit to it fully. Here's a powerful technique I call the value exchange system. Before any social interaction, ask yourself 2 questions. What value can I bring to this situation? And what growth opportunity does this offer me? This ensures your social connections remain purposeful and mutually beneficial. Create what I call connection rituals. These are regular, scheduled activities that keep you connected without overwhelming your need for solitude. Maybe it's a monthly coffee with a mentor, a weekly phone call with family, or a quarterly meetup with professional peers. The key is consistency without obligation. Remember this about building your support system? It's not about having people around all the time. It's about having the right people around at the right times. Quality connections don't demand constant attention. They understand and respect your need for solitude while being there when it matters. Start a skills exchange group. Find 4 or 5 professionals with different expertise. Meet monthly to share knowledge. You teach what you know. They teach what they know. This creates meaningful connections based on mutual growth rather than social obligation. Your support system should energize you, not drain you. If any relationship consistently leaves you feeling depleted, it's time to reevaluate it. This isn't selfish. It's necessary for maintaining the energy you need to make your best contribution. Build these connections slowly, thoughtfully, like you're creating a masterpiece. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Creating a network that supports your growth while respecting your independence. This is how you remain true to yourself while staying connected to the world around you. Your future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you design, one decision at a time. Think of yourself as an architect drawing the blueprints of your own destiny. The beauty of planning your future alone is that your vision stays pure, uncluttered by others' expectations. Here's a powerful exercise. Take a blank notebook, one you'll keep for years. Title it My Future by Design. In it, write down not just goals, but the person you're becoming. Don't focus on things you want to own. Focus on experiences you want to create, wisdom you want to gain, the impact you want to have. When you achieve something significant, don't rush to the next goal. Stop, celebrate. You create your own celebration rituals. Maybe it's buying yourself something meaningful, taking a day trip somewhere special, or simply sitting in quiet reflection of how far you've come. These moments of acknowledgement fuel your journey forward. Develop what I call a growth timeline. Every 3 months, set aside an evening. Review your progress, but here's the key. Don't just look at what you've accomplished. Look at who you're becoming. Are you more patient? Wiser? More skilled? These internal changes matter more than external achievements. Remember, your vision of the future should excite you every morning and calm you every night. If it doesn't, it's not big enough, or perhaps it's not truly yours. Keep refining it until it resonates with your deepest self. The most powerful mindset you can develop is this. Every day is a new opportunity to become better than you were yesterday. Not better than someone else. Better than your previous self. This is the essence of continuous growth. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about enjoying the endless journey of becoming. Your future is a canvas, and every day you're adding new strokes to the masterpiece of your life. Make them count.